Hello and welcome. My name is Michelle. I am your emotional resilience coach, and it is fantastic to have you join me here today. It is 2021. We are nearing the end of the year, and we've had about 18 to 20 months of COVID now. And with COVID, we have had a lot of loss. And this is something I want to talk about today. This is something that has come up more and more and more. I get this question a lot, is how can I be there for the person who is grieving? All right, please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, the notifications button. So, grieving is very individual and very personal. Just as it is difficult for the person who is in the grief, it can sometimes get sticky and messy for those of us who are watching the person who's in their grief and wanting to help. I have of late had a lot of calls from children who are worried about parents, friends who are worried about friends. We are living in a time of great loss and grief and a lot of mourning. And culturally, I acknowledge that it looks different for all of us, and that is going to play a part. But something that is a theme that is coming up constantly is, how can I be there for my friend? I just want to be there for my mom. I just want my mom to be better. Or how can I hold that space for my dad? Or I just want to take that pain away from them. Or I just want to make it easier for them. Or how can I help? I remember speaking to somebody once who was like, I'm just helping mom. I'm making everything perfect for mom all the time, right? And there is so much pressure on what can I do? And sometimes we overthink it, and it becomes so sticky in our overthinking of it and such a messy experience that we freeze, or we just give up and we say, well, I don't know what to do, so I'm not going to do anything at all. Or I don't want to be overbearing, or a whole lot of things happens. We tell ourselves a lot of stories during this process. And so we're going to be kind, and we're going to be gentle, and we're going to be compassionate for them and for us, because it is difficult for all of us. So just as grieving is a very personal, individual experience, so is helping somebody. It's very personal and very individual. I don't know two human beings who goes through the process in the same way. We're not supposed to. We're different. We have different backgrounds, different lenses, different understandings, different context. Everything is going to be different about our experiences. But at the end of the day, what connects us and what binds us is the wound, right? We understand pain. We understand grief. We understand sorrow. So first and foremost, what we want to do is allow them the space to grieve the way they need to. It doesn't have to look a specific way. It doesn't have to be a specific time length. It doesn't have to be anything other than what that person who's going through it needs it to be to process this incredibly difficult time in their lives. So what we can do is be compassionate, be loving. Oftentimes just holding their hand or hugging them or just sitting next to them and just being with them is so much more powerful than words. So much is lost in translation. Sometimes there just aren't the words to say what we wish we could say, to take away the pain or to ease their burden or to carry that load. Sometimes there's these things we just can't do. But what we can do is just sit with them and be with them and respect the space that they are in. From a practical point of view, what can we do? Just be sensitive and just really think about things before you say or do it. So, for instance, social media is a very tricky place to navigate. Maybe don't put things up about the deceased. Don't tag them in things about the deceased, especially in the early days, definitely not in the first year. This is a conversation, obviously, if it's somebody you know, maybe it's your sister and you both share the same pain and she's comfortable with it and you're comfortable with it, that's different. But often what happens is that friends or distant relatives or something along those lines, what we do is we want to make a difference, we want to make it better, we want to do like a shout out to them and let them know that we're thinking of them, but sometimes it's hard. So just be considerate and really, really know the person before you do anything on social media. There's the obvious, like making meals, maybe taking them things like groceries, things that they might forget about because they are lost in their world, and that's okay, they need to be. And maybe they might just forget to pick up bread or milk, or maybe they need some space to just sit and be. You can take them for a drive or go for a walk with them on the beach or amongst the trees, or just sit with them quietly and not have to do anything, just be there. People are going to be very sensitive to your awkwardness at this stage, and so they might need things but might not want to say what they need. They might not want to express what they need. This is a good time to just listen and let them lead. If you just listen and really pay attention and really just be there present with them, sometimes you can pick up things where you can see that there is a need that maybe you can fill. Maybe you can take their kids out for ice cream, or maybe you can help them just tidy up the kitchen, mow the lawn, drop off something that maybe you saw that made you think of them, maybe chocolates or anything, that's flowers, anything. You will know that person in your life, what it is that connects with them, what it is that resonates with them, what you saw, and you genuinely thought of them and thought, hey, this made me think of you. Don't take offense at all if they are quiet and withdrawn. What you can do is you can send little messages, send little pictures, send a card, send flowers, be with them, give them a ring, call them every day, if you feel that maybe this would be a way of you expressing your love to them. But while you're trying to navigate this and figure it out, don't take offense. Some days they might not take your call at all. Other days they might talk to you for 2.5 minutes. Other days they might be happy to talk to you for 32 minutes. It can vary. Let them lead. Give them that space and that confidence and that reassurance to know that you're there to support them the way they need it done. And I know it's difficult because generally, culturally, we don't like to be a burden, and we don't like that feeling of, hey, I need this from you, or hey, I need that from you. But you can do it in subtle ways. You can kind of just give them a ring, kind of get an idea of where they're at. Do they feel like talking? Don't they feel like talking? If they feel like talking about the deceased, let them talk, and then ask questions. Then you know that they're in that space to engage, and laugh when they laugh, cry when they cry, or just be quiet and let them know that you're there and that you love them and that you're supporting them. Ask them questions when they're in the mood to vent, like what time of the day is hardest for you, or what is it particularly that you are, struggling to move through, or tell me how I can be of help. What can I do to help you? Most often people will say nothing, right? Because this is a very personal journey that they need to go through. But you can just say, all right, well, I want you to know that I'm here and I'm thinking of you and I love you. And check in on them, because what tends to happen is, because the pain is so incredible and because we don't want to be a burden, the person who's grieving also might tend to self-isolate. So check in on them, swing by, pop your head in, give them a ring, let them just know that they are being thought of, that they are loved, and that you are there if they so need it. So you will know with your own personality, your relationship with them. You will know as time goes on what it is that you can do to help them through this process. Often what happens in my family, what we do, and this is something that could happen later on in the grieving process, generally after the first year, because remember, the first year is going to be the most excruciating because it's the first anniversary of everything. It's going to be the first holiday, it's going to be the first birthday, maybe wedding anniversary. It's going to be the first of everything. So the first year is really, really excruciating. But after that, what I do in my family and what I have recommended to many of friends and clients is to find a way to honor that person that you have lost, or encourage them to maybe find a way to honor the person that they have lost in their lives. And it really doesn't have to be anything huge. Maybe it is a song. Maybe they want to sit down and listen to a song that was their favorite or had special meaning in their relationship, and let them cry and let them talk it out. Maybe it is nature. Maybe they loved the beach. Maybe go to the beach. Maybe it is bird watching. Maybe it's a particular author who loved a type of book. Maybe, get the book. Maybe watch the movie that you guys bonded over. Something that is specific and unique to you and that person. In my family, what we do is we celebrate around food. We honor around food. So my grandmother, she loved bacon and banana sandwiches. I am in South Africa, and there is a restaurant called Wimpy. It's a very casual restaurant. It's more like a takeaway type restaurant. It's been around for as long as I can remember. And as a kid, my grandmother used to love going to the Wimpy with me, and she would always order a toasted bacon and banana sandwich. Her birthday is on the 20th of December, and more often than not, on her birth date, to honor that, as a family, we will go to Wimpy and order a toasted bacon and banana sandwich. Some of my kids don't like that combination, but they'll have a toasted sami of sorts. I have a cousin who passed away a couple of years ago. She loved Hawaiian pizza, so would celebrate with Hawaiian pizza. Her sister does not like Hawaiian pizza. She likes meaty pizzas or mincy pizzas or something like that. So she will order that, and she'll write on the box Hawaiian. It is just something to do to just kind of honor the memory of the person that is so special in your life, and to honor your own healing journey. And this is something you could recommend doing with the person who's grieving, or if you are the person who is grieving. This is a great way to just honor them, honor the journey, honor the process, and it's kind of a tip of the cap to just how important they were or are in your life, and what this journey means for you. But you'll figure it out, because as I said, just as actually grieving is incredibly personal, how we support is incredibly personal. But the best advice that I can give is let them lead. All right, I hope this helps. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, the notifications button. Come on over to the Emotional Resilience Coach on Instagram. Say hey to me there. DM me if there are any questions, if there's anything you'd like me to cover. Take a deep breath. Give yourself a good pat on the back. Be kind to yourself, love yourself, and just know that you are doing a better job than you realize. Have a most empowered day.